Good day, everybody. It is Calxiyn here with Frieren, episode 2 reaction and review. And before we get into it, I always like to talk about the things that I've noticed since last week or 2 months ago. But anyway, don't worry about that. I am going to get back into the show regularly now that Has Been Hotel is over and done, and I have my life back to watch anime. And I'm really, really excited to get back into the show. But I always want to talk about things that I was thinking about because of the first episode that weren't mentioned necessarily in that episode run review. And so the first thing was, I wonder if Frieren feels torn up because she only went to Himmel when she needed something. Like, she needed the dragon tooth situation, the darkness, the thing that was exuding the darkness, and so she went to go see her friend, but she didn't go unless she needed something from him. And I think that that's part of the reason why. I mean, obviously, she's torn up regardless because her friend has died, but I think there's this added element of selfishness, or she feels like that she was selfish. The second thing is that I think she wants to understand humans better, to understand some of Himmel's behavior in hindsight, because she can't ask him, right? And so I think that that's where the show may be going. It's this idea of, I didn't understand, or I didn't try to understand him at this time. I was sort of dismissive and like, oh, whatever, right? But by learning about other people or cultivating friendships with others, she can discover, or I guess discover in hindsight, she can look back on their interactions and understand what Himmel was trying to tell her. But that's basically everything I got. I mean, last episode was pretty self-explanatory. Last episode focused a lot on grief, and I think it's good that I probably stepped away for a minute, you know, because if you guys have followed my channel for a long time, you'll know that I've gone through things very similar recently, so it was a little bit like, oh, do I want to keep watching this right now? But I think it's necessary, right? So over the initial hill of seeing something very tragic, obviously, let's get into now episode 2. 3, 2, 1, press and play. Something else that I will say is, like, obviously her other friend is gonna die. Like, the priest, like, he's not long for this world. Clearly, like, I mean, everyone has to die sometime, right? So I'm assuming that she is going to, like, adopt Fern, basically. And that's how this is gonna go. It's like, well, I promised your father, right, the priest, like, she promised the priest to take care of her, so I'm assuming that the priest will die and then Fern will be alone, and that's when the adventure starts for Frieren. Like, they actually leave, she leaves with Fern after the death, basically. You know? But that's all I'm thinking right now. Obviously, we haven't seen, like, the red-haired kid or anything. But yeah, like, it's just so bittersweet because, I mean, we know how much her old friends were important to her, but, like, you have to move on, even if it's not necessarily friendship and it's more like she's in an adoptive mother kind of role, right? It's like, well, you have to keep going, you know, because you still have to keep living and you can't live the rest of your years as an elf alone, so you need to make new friends, but also you know that you could lose them too. Anyway, I was just thinking for a second. Okay. Oh, she's so baby. Like, I just forgot how little she is, because in the OP you see her all grown up, right? So there's still, like, there's still lots of time for bad things to happen, is what I was gonna say. Yeah, exactly. So there's always something. Are they fishing? Oh, they're eating the fish that they caught. But yeah, I like that, like, she's encouraging, but also, like, Fern is still pretty strong. Like, we saw her last episode, but Frieren's still like, okay, well, let's all just hold our horses here, you know? Like, you're still not perfect. Like, she really had to take her down a peg, but it wasn't, like, in a mean way, right? Okay, well, Look at this weird, like, makeshift family. Like, I don't know, like, because obviously there's nothing romantic happening with the priest and Frieren, right? But he's always... Oh, he's picking off his vegetables? Damn, it's a wonder this man lived as long as he did. Oh no, wait! They're gonna be at the grave! No. Oh, okay, they were just on the hill. I was gonna... But I like seeing, like, their little slice of life moment. Even the thing picking the broccoli is such a small thing, right? Okay, yeah, so it's been 4 years. Oh. Well. What else is there to do if she's not spending time in the woods would be my question. Ah! Oh my god! Oh my god, man! They really had this man just drop dead! Okay, wait, he's alive. Bro! Oh. I mean, I was emotionally prepared. Like, I knew. Oh. Oh my god! Oh. She wants to hit the rock before he dies. Yeah! Oh, honey, no. But I get it, right? Like, it's just this. It's the same reason why she wants to decipher the grimoire before. Oh, her parents. Oh. Oh my god. She's like 4 years old and she's like, oh my god. That's... Oh, well, this is about Himmel, right? Oh my god. I really wonder, like, it seems like more happened to her than just losing her parents, you know what I mean? For her to feel that way. Oh. 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 Yeah, like, I feel like that's enough to give somebody issues, like, the idea that, like, I don't know, like, she's adopted and so now she has to be perfect. Oh, man. Oh. Oh my god! Yeah, she's standing on top of the water. But see, they're the same! They're basically doing the same thing. Like, whether it's the grimoire or, like, her going to the rock, like, it's still the same. Oh, but he's all alone! Shouldn't somebody stay with him? That's what I'm concerned about. Like, are we not just gonna learn the same lesson again? Like, the fact that you wish that you had done more that's not just this? I mean... Yeah. Yeah. I mean... Oh. Oh, so now she can go with her. Yeah! So this was his ploy the whole time, which you know... Yeah, he did! Even I knew that! Damn, a wild goose chase. I mean, but he's right, though. Oh. Oh. But, like, she knows that she still would know. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, but... Like, should they not stay this man and give him some comfort in his final moments? Yeah, exactly. Yeah! You tell! Oh. You tell him! Oh. Oh, and she's crying too! Oh. See, like, Himmel just seemed really special, and I'm like, and he's not even, you know, he's not here. See, this is what things should be. And yeah, she hit the rock! Oh. Oh. What's on her neck? Is that just shading, or? Oh. Oh. Wait. Hold on. We're not done yet. Oh my god, little mouse! Oh, that's a squirrel. Never mind. I was close. Oh! 26 years after Himmel's death. But... Oh! They're just, like, going on little quests. Oh! I like that, but I also feel like she's like, we're not fighting monsters and you're hiding it from me. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But maybe that's how she understands what humans want through, like, these spells, you know? Like, humans just want warm tea and grapes, I don't know. I agree. I think they are the same. But I think Fern does want some adventure, you know? Oh, another one? Or is that the same one that used to be in the square? Yeah, what the fuck? Oh. wait a minute. Was this the same incident that, like, killed Fern's parents? Yeah, like, shouldn't they be trying to kill these things? Oh, that girl's in the OP, isn't she? Or no, that's the old woman, I think. Oh, wait, I see. Oh, I thought that happened after the statue. Oh, but... Oh. Come on now. Oh my god. I love how we're seeing more of his personality, though. He seems a little extra. Yeah, like, does he not know it was her? Oh my goodness, that is really funny, though. But yeah, I love that story, how, like, she cares about it because he made an impact on her, you know? Yeah, but it's important for the old lady to do it, right? Oh, we're gonna have to go. The squirrels are just in the house, bestie. Oh. I hope she didn't just pocket those squirrels or something. Oh, bestie! For what purpose? Seed rats! She's such a little Disney princess. That's so cute. I really like this setup, like how they're gonna go look for the flower. Yeah, they can fix things. Oh. Oh, boy. Well, at least she's honest. I love how they're just, like, I don't know, hanging out with old people, the anime. Like... they both shake their head at each other, that's funny. Is she okay? Oh my god, I love this! Like, this is just so, like... I wish it was my job to just fall asleep in the sun, you know? Oh my god! Fern is just like, I want to fight a fucking monster. Like, I feel like that's what she's thinking right now. She's like, I want to fight people. Oh, good. This lady's alive. Yeah, she's like, Frieren bored me out of being a mage, you know? That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting right now. Oh. Hmm. Oh. I mean, maybe just from Frieren's perspective, like, this is something only a mage can do, right? Like, people with swords can fight monsters, but restoring the natural wildlife, I don't know, conservation authority, maybe not, right? So I don't know. Yeah. Uh, oh my god, well... Oh, the rat! Is that rat gonna lead them to the flowers? Rat ex machina. I'm just so... Like, it's just so compelling. Now, they were right about to get... Like, they were right about to start beefing into it, you know what I mean? But Frieren seems to understand. Yeah, I don't believe that either. This is why. Oh. Do you guys think Himmel was in love with her? Because I think so. Look at this, how he looks at her, man! I am so distressed. Oh. But that's what connected her. Like, she made other people happy with her magic, you know? Oh. I have a lot of faith in this squirrel right now. Yeah. So this would be a place where the flowers weren't wiped out. Oh, and he never got to grow it for him. You know, he's so, like, I did not expect him to be like that at all. Like, he has a bit of an ego, right? But I kind of love it. No, that's so fucked up. It never happened. Oh, that's so feral, but, like, that makes me so feral, I mean. Oh. Oh. But wasn't it worth it? I think it was Yeah, see? Oh, I like that. Like, there's still something about making the choice. Yeah, like the happy memories you can create with the magic, right? I love that. This show has such good messages, man. Oh, wow. Oh. Oh, no! And she made him the flower crown, and it was all that time later, like, when she was like, oh, I don't want to do your childish little games, right? And she finally does it! Oh my god, this show is so good. Like, you know, I said this last time, I was afraid, like, guys, I hope it's okay that I'm not talking enough, I know it's a time sink and whatever, but somebody had commented, like, Cal, don't worry about it. Like, first of all, we wouldn't be here if we didn't want to see your commentary of the show, and then second of all, like, I don't know, how little or how much commentary you have, like, is still valid, right, for a show like this that takes its pacing a little slower. So, you know, even when I don't talk, that doesn't mean that I'm not thinking. Like, I'm really in it, like, in terms of, like, all the things that the show is trying to say. But yeah, like, I really love, I guess, the first half with the priest, because, like, Fern and Frieren are very similar to each other. You know what I mean? Like, she's doing the grimoire, and then she's trying to blow up the rock, and I like how they intertwined their arcs. And I really like how, you know, the priest was like, just leave me here. But Frieren actually fought against that because she already went through loss like that. Like, she wants to make sure she does things differently this time, right? Like, sudden loss versus, like, let's spend the last time together. And so I feel like that was really good. I was afraid they were actually gonna leave. I would have been so mad. But I'm glad that they stayed with him and... Oh. Oh. But yeah, I really enjoy... Oh. Oh. Killing magic. Okay, so I'm assuming that, because that's the other thing, right? Like, with Fern, it kind of seems like Fern is like, but when do we get to fight some people, though, right? But, you know, I really like, again, I like the stuff with the priest, just comparing them both, and like, oh, you tricked me, and all that stuff, like, how the priest sort of conned Frieren into staying around, but I think Frieren knew the entire time. If there was a spell that caused immortality, we would know about it. So I think that she knew, too, like, that she was being played a little bit, but, like, she just didn't mind because this is her friend who went on these adventures with, you know, with her. What is she gonna say? No? So I feel like that, not that she felt like she owed him a favor, but even though she probably knew that she was being conned a little, she knew the likelihood of there being a spell of immortality in that book was 0, but she genuinely liked spending time with them. She just feels like that she needs an excuse, and I think that Heiter knew that. So that's the first thing. I really like seeing Fern's character arc in all this, why she's so determined. But yeah, I feel like that it's more than her being orphaned. Like, I feel like that there has to be more to her backstory than that. I don't remember exactly what they said in episode 1, and that's my fault. I should have probably done a more thorough rewatch than what I did rewatch just before we got back into it, because it was a long time ago. But I wonder if, like, there was also an element of war or something. Like, her parents just didn't die of sickness or something, but, like, there was another element where there was war, or there was a monster, or something more of that nature, just because, like, I don't know, like, I feel like there's a big red flag in the fact that she basically, it seemed like that she was gonna jump off the cliff, right, when Heiter found her, and that's behavior that, to me, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a doctor, whatever, right, but that's behavior to me that you hear about happening in situations where a child is in a situation where there's, like, a war or some sort of, like, military occupation, genocide, like, where there's some sort of catastrophically bad event going on, So I wonder if it wasn't just that her parents died, but there's also something else that happened. Like she saw them be killed by monsters and all of this other stuff. Or maybe there was war, because we have monsters, but I swear we also hear about, I swear, maybe it was another show I was watching and I'm just confused, but I swear we heard about war at some point. So I wonder if there's more to it than just her parents dying. But also at the same time, you have to consider the fact that this is a fantasy world, that maybe kids that are orphans go through a very difficult, like there's not like a foster system, or like, and even in still our modern world, foster systems around the world still suck, right? But I'm saying in terms of like a fantasy, we would hope in our reality, right? Foster and adoption and what happens when kids become orphan, like we have actual systems of government, right? Like they're in a fantasy world where there are kingdoms and you don't really know. A lot of kids, if they're orphaned, it's like, oh well, right? You may be able to get in with the church, like how she did with the priest. You may be able to get food and shelter that way, but it's not the same sort of like the government system, right, of an orphanage and stuff like that, or our modern concept of it. Like even for our recent history, kids were just on the street, right? And so we have to consider that too, that this is a fantasy world, so maybe part of her wanting to jump off the cliff was, maybe it wasn't caused by like war or like an increase, like even more trauma than I'm already thinking, like the trauma of losing her parents, but also some other thing, monsters, soldiers, some sort of thing that drove her to that point, and like just being alone, and also being alone, but also maybe it's just that like she thinks that she has no prospects, especially too if we're thinking of fantasy world, then we get into social class, peasants versus the rich. There's a lot going on. So there could be a lot going on with that. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but my first flag, like if I had to flag something down, it's that I think there's more to Fern's backstory, because that's a very extreme reaction. And so we have to understand how in the world, or I guess where in the world that reaction, because like that's a very dark place for a child's mind to go. And I've only heard about that happening in the context of very severe trauma brought on by those things I'm talking about. But yeah, it's interesting to see, again, how similar they are. But obviously, I feel like Fern, like, after the priest died, so we have that whole chunk with the priest dying and seeing their slice of life. Like, I really enjoyed seeing them all spend time together, and Frieren, like, I'm gonna do things differently this time, right? Because as much as she and Fern are sort of the same in terms of, like, we need to finish doing that thing before the person we care about dies, right? They did spend time with him at the end of his life, so there's not really that feeling of missed opportunity or missed time, or I should have spent more time with him. She course-corrected this time when it was Heiter that was dying. But then afterwards with the flowers, I feel like Fern really feels, and she even said it to the lady, like, we could use our magic to help people. So I feel like that she's like, but what about killing things? What about fighting monsters? But I think it's two things. Like, first of all, that Frieren, not that she's selfish, but that she is obsessive in a way where I'm like, sometimes I sit in here and edit, and I'll sit here and edit and not use the bathroom and not get up for food and not even drink water for like 16 hours because it's just something that I care so much about. Normally, with the reactions, I'm never like that. With reactions, I'm just like, oh man, I gotta edit this reaction. No. But with my other channel, where I talk about the songs and stuff, like, yeah, I could sit here for 16 hours and edit my video about Preminger's villain song and Barbie Princess and the Pauper, because I really, really care about that stuff and I get hyper fixated, right? So I think there's an element of Frieren being like selfish, but like in a hyper fixation, sort of like autistic, like me kind of way, right? Where she's just like, okay, but we're so close, like sunk cost fallacy. But then, right, the show sort of rewards the fact that she didn't stop looking, right? And so I feel like that even though Frieren's behavior is obsessive, I think that it was also saying that there's a point to it, right? Because I feel like that it's not about, yes, you could save people with magic and you could kill monsters, but that is not the only way to save people. Sometimes saving people is also dusting off statues that mean a lot to them or creating flowers or what have you. Like, that is a valid way for heroism, to make people happy, to make people's lives a little better. And so I feel like the spell collection, and they talked about it a couple times, they referenced it, and I think I hit it in my reaction, but just to reiterate, I really feel like the spell collection this is what human beings value: making tea warm, being able to make flowers. Like, the humans value not even these, like, I wish for $1 million, right? Like, money appears out of the sky. Like, it's not even that, but like, if we had magic, what would we want to use it for? Like, what would we hire a mage for? Like, I don't know, even for me, right? Like, yes, I love money. We all love money, right? But in our modern society, like, if I knew someone with mage powers like Frieren, what would I ask them to do? I'd probably want them to clean my house, right? Or something like that. Or, to tidy up something like the garden, or like make something pretty. Like, we care a lot about that stuff, and we may not realize it, right? Because I feel like that we're such a money-driven society that's the first thing that people think of when they have magic. It's mostly like in the vein of things. Like, I'd make diamonds and then I'd sell them, or I'd get money, because that's our biggest problem. Like, our biggest problem in life, that's what it tends to be, right? But in this context, you realize, like, if the money thing, like, if I was a millionaire, then what? What are the things that would make my life better? And like, it is these little things, Anyway, that was a whole tangent. And I don't think that the lady living in the cottage is a millionaire, right? But just in terms of she clearly lives in a different society than we do, because we don't see her, like, that little old lady is not like working the 9 to 5. It seems like she's some sort of herbalist, and that's how she makes her living, and like, she's just chilling in her cottage and maybe working a little, but you know what I mean? Like, it's a different life than our lives, right? And so she has time to care about those sorts of things, like the statue. But yeah, that's just the first thing I thought about. I'm like, well, for us, for the viewer that's watching this, okay, so here's another thing, and this is gonna go on another tangent. This is why my watch time's all over the place, because I'm just like, skirt. Okay, but we need to talk about this too. So I saw a very interesting Twitter thread that people watch this show on 2 times speed. And like, there's this whole debate, and I'm like, okay, you can watch the show however you want. I watch YouTube videos on 2 times speed all the time. I don't watch movies at 2 times speed, but whatever, people are busy, I don't know. But I do feel like, in my opinion, do whatever you want, but I would never watch the show on 2 times speed, because the point of the show is to take a breath, right? She's been searching for this flower for 6 months, and I know that, we're all busy and our lives are all busy, but I feel like that's the point that the show was trying to make, is that Frieren is obsessed with things, and it may not be healthy and it may not necessarily be good, whatever, but the way that she's obsessed with these simple things, is that not like rejuvenating in a sense? Like, is it not rejuvenating to see something paced out in this specific way, where half of the episode is looking for a flower? I feel like that we need this. We don't need that go, go, go. We need something that does not go, 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 for that exact reason. Like, I feel like it's against the point of the show to watch it on double speed. It goes against the point that the show is trying to make, because the show is trying to show you the appreciation for the simple things, like these flowers, because that's the point that I got from it. She says even, like, yeah, I collected these spells and then I realized they made this idiot happy that one time. Like, that's what she's saying. That's another way to improve people's lives, these small things that you don't think about. It's not just about slaying the monster. It's not just about the big picture. It's also about the little picture that you make along the way. So I don't remember what I was saying before that. I'm sorry. That was like an ADHD thought that I needed to talk about. Oh, but what I was saying is that, like, these are things that we care about as people, and that maybe we lose track of sometimes how important this stuff truly is to us. Again, the flower thing is the best example. So I was saying, like, oh, if we were millionaires, right? Like, if we all had our needs taken care of, what would we care about after that? And that's how I see what they're talking about here in terms of the stuff that may not seem important. Like, yeah, a spell that always makes your drinks warm, or a spell that always, like, makes sure that your apple is cut perfectly. I don't know, like, just little things that make our lives more convenient. And like, yes, you can make flowers appear out of anywhere, like that little stuff. Just the ways that the magic appreciates life, and it's that is to Frieren, I think that's a symbol of human life, like what humans care about, what humans prioritize. These little, like, folk magic spells are a representation of the human beings around at that time. Just like, I guess, in our history, just for example, fairy tales. A lot of fairy tales, like a fairy tale, that's what the subtitle says. I don't know if you guys can see it anymore, right? Fairy tales in our culture, we don't have magic, obviously, in the real world, but fairy tales in our society are built around certain ideas that are representative of the people that made them. like the idea of Jack and the Beanstalk climbing up the beanstalk, taking the riches from the giant, right? Obviously, there were no giants. They were talking about the rich, right? So this peasant who is just him and his mom, no dad in the picture, he goes up the beanstalk, he takes the giant's money, and then they have a big feast and it's a happily ever after. Like, why did people make those stories? Because it was wish fulfillment. The peasants were telling these stories and they wanted to imagine themselves stealing from the rich. They wanted to imagine having the life that the rich people do. And then it was also maybe hope, I guess, because there's a difference between wish fulfillment and hope. There's like living in the character, but also that maybe what that character did could be real someday, and those are different things, right? So when we're talking about the folk magic, we don't really have anything equivalent to that, but you see other things, I guess. To me, like stories, that's what folk magic, like our equivalent of folk magic, that's what I see stories as. Things that have been passed down and that are representative of the humans at that time. And so I think for Frieren, it's like, well, this is what the human beings at the time care about. They care about these simple things when they're not at a time of war. This is what humans really care about and value when they're able to live a peaceful life. So yeah, I just loved all the messages. I love how this show makes me think so much in terms of just appreciating those little things, right? I can't really think of anything else right now. I do assume, though, that there will be violence, because I think that what we're focusing on is that Frieren does not want to go back into combat. Fern definitely wants to get back into combat. Also, they were like almost about to throw down. She was like, you're too obsessed with this. You never listen to what I have to say. Even though, like, how many years will it be then was sort of snarky. I mean, not in a bad way. I like that tension between them. And I think Fern has a point, because this is 6 months of Fern's human life, not elf life, human life. So yeah, that was really, I liked they were almost getting right into the argument, and then they were interrupted by, I'm gonna choose to believe that Himmel possessed the squirrel. Oh, and that's how the conversation like deviated to the tower. But yeah, there's also the implication that the flowers died because of, again, some sort of war. Like the squirrels hide in a safe place from enemies, and I guess they could have just met predators. But I see that, and I also see the weird battle tower and be like, oh, well, was there a war here? Is that why some of this stuff, oh my god, is that why some of this stuff happened? Also, the fact that, like, the old lady was a little girl that Himmel saved, and, like, the impact, right, of Himmel's actions still is very much still in the world. Like, I just thought that was really interesting too, and that you see her. But there was somebody in the trailer that looked, I don't know, that like when I saw her I was confused for a minute, but now I'm not confused anymore. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed. I think that this is where I'm gonna keep it for now. Make sure to go watch my other reactions if you want, or check out the Patreon to see these reactions early. Hopefully by the time you're seeing this, maybe episode 3 will be up. I don't know, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you later. Bye.